This is One on One. We are pleased to welcome Dr. Barna Donovan, professor of communications at St. Peter's University, author of a book called Confirmation, Investigations of the Unexplained. Good to see you, doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Let's disclose that we both have doctorates from a different university, Rutgers, and the same communications program.
Absolutely.
What do we just tell folks is, what's the key to getting your doctorate?
Just not quitting. Where you just get to a point where you say that I'm not going down. I'm going the distance on this,
That's right.
and I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll get into conspiracy theories. I understand, folks. How about this? This whole conspiracy thing that you write about, theories. Mm-hmm. It didn't start with 9/11. So as a little kid, I remember a little bit later on, I started reading about the Kennedy assassination. Was that one of the first conspiracy theories? It couldn't have been, one shooter.
Mm-hmm. We've had conspiracy theories in American culture going back literally centuries. I mean, back to the founding of the country. You had people afraid of the Freemasons, afraid of the Illuminati. So it's something that's part of our culture. Actually, I would say it's probably part of human nature. To look for conspiracies, to look for people who have a lot of power, who might hang out, similar type of powerful people, and then ask these questions. Well, what are they up to behind those closed doors?
It's got to be something.
Yeah, it's got to be something. But yeah, for the because I teach a class on conspiracy theories as well, and
at St. Peter's.
At St. Peter's, conspiracy theories in entertainment and popular culture.
For example, give us a conspiracy theory based on some quote-unquote entertainment-related either person or story.
Entertainment-related conspiracy. You have conspiracies about Walt Disney, the way that that he might have been buried with his head removed. You have all kinds of odd speculations about what he might have.
Who's frozen? Who's not frozen?
Right, exactly. We're looking mainly though at the films and the conspiracy theory films and the sorts of things going on in society at the time they were made, and how those films are reflecting the times.
So let me ask you this, devil's advocate, I'm curious about this. Manchurian Candidate, is that an example of it?
Oh, that's one of the films that we watch.
Is that right?
It's one of our required
films. Because I remember my mom, my dad saying, I want you to watch, the whole Manchurian Candidate. I go, what? That can't be real. Some people believe that stuff is real.
Oh, about half of the American population believes in at least one conspiracy theory. And then usually people who believe very strongly in one, they're going to be open to many others as well. And Manchurian Candidate is such an interesting one because it's sort of you have double conspiracies going on there. The conspiracies by the communists and the conspiracies by the anti-communists.
That's right.
And so it's just a circular sort of a web of this really large scale corruption going on.
From a political perspective, and you weren't intending to make this political, and I won't either, but I'm curious. If the president, any president, but in this case President Trump, talks about the fact that there's a conspiracy theory, a conspiracy against me, that there's a quote-unquote deep state organizing against me together with the media. By the way, some people may believe that's true. Who knows? Does that contribute to it?
To
people's belief that it can't just be the CIA, it can't just be the FBI. We just can't be in the media. We must all be together somewhere in a room figuring out how to take down a president.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and he has been, and you said you don't want to make it too political, but it's a fact that he has been extremely skilled in touching that conspiratorial nerve in his base. Yes, originally, even before he announced officially that he wants to be the president, he was part of the birther movement, conspiracy theory right there.
President Obama wasn't even born here.
Sure, and
there's a conspiracy theory
absolutely.
that some people protected him, never get to see his college transcript. People believe that stuff. But the 9/11 one is fascinating to me. people who do not believe that the horrific event took place on September 11th, 2001, that it wasn't really what we saw, that somehow it was an inside job. Give me a percentage of how many Americans you think actually believe some of that's true.
Latest count, I believe it's close to 20%.
Is that right?
I believe, if the last number that I heard. I might be off on that, but it's a surprisingly high number, and apparently it's growing every year. That some of the growing. I mean, just like with JFK, that almost a majority of the population believes that the quote official story is not the real story. So the 9/11 conspiracy community is also growing.
Alex Jones. I don't want. Alex Jones is a public person who, I believe he has a radio show, if I'm not mistaken. He says an awful lot of things, and one of them, I think, if I'm wrong, don't let me be wrong on this, team, that when those kids were killed in the school, I mean, there were too many, Sandy Hook incident, horrific incident, that they were actors.
Right.
Like, what is that?
He calls
Sandy Hook eggs. What is that?
I know that's the question I'm asking. I mean, really, if for conspiracy theorists, when they're theorizing about aliens or Area 51, things like that, it's kind of fun. It's kind of strange.
There's nothing funny about this
but not exactly. That for me, this is crossing a line of human decency right there. And people like this, they're like grave robbers. They're going and exploiting the deaths of people on 9/11. Alex Jones, he's one of the loudest proponents of the 9/11 conspiracy.
Children, innocent children in the school?
Right.
And Sandy Hook. I mean, and what about their parents grieving?
Sure.
Like they're not who we see they are.
Exactly. And egging on the conspiracy believers to start harassing the families.
Doctor, what are we to do?
I think that, and what I'm hoping to be doing as an academic is education really has to step up and realize that this is a cultural phenomenon right now. That we're living in a world where not only it's not just that you have people who are going to these absolutely tasteless, sleazy extremes to exploit the deaths of children to get ratings on their radio shows. But we're having so many sections of the population who decide to live in their own reality. They will say, I believe that such and such is a conspiracy, and you can't tell me anything otherwise. I believe that vaccines are going to cause autism.
Don't show me the facts.
Yeah, don't show me the facts.
I believe it.
I can go and show you. I can go and show people like that
the medical
community
is in cahoots.
Exactly, they're part of it.
No matter what you bring up,
they're part of it. So that's.
Yeah. Sorry, you have a new book. I'm sorry for interrupting. You got a new book coming out?
Yes, Confirmation, Investigations of the Unexplained, which is a novel. It's a science fiction novel, but I take the themes about conspiracies that I'm studying, especially the things that are really bothering me about this conspiracy culture, and I graft it onto this fictional story, where the plot is that you have an unexplained event in the world. That you have the appearance of these large 20-ton granite globes popping up all over the world. So it is something that everybody can see. But at that point, different people start grafting their own belief systems onto it, and then the way that these various belief systems just refuse to get along, and then conspiracy beliefs become the most destructive.
Doctor, thank you. We just can't say, oh, it's something about an alien, or you're right. Some of them are very real and potentially very dangerous. Dr. Barna Donovan, who is a professor of communications at St. Peter's University. I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well done. Stay right there. We'll be right back right after this.